Hi, good morning. Welcome to the Scrum Podcast. Today, Arun and I are going to discuss Agile Coach competencies. We have been thinking about this for a long time to present some of the competencies required for an Agile Coach. I think this is the time that we got to talk about that. Good morning, Arun.
Very good morning, Venkat. Good morning, everyone.
So, there is a famous saying that, right? So, most businesses die because of indigestion, not because of starvation. So we have a lot of myths around what agile coaching is, especially when it comes to agile coach role. We do not have a universal definition. So at TriScrum, what we thought was we wanted to give some insights to people that are looking to transition their career as an agile coach. So we have come up with something called agile coach competencies. Of course, we took the basic agile competencies model from Lisa Adkins, of her work, and we also added something on top of it to make it more relevant to today's world. Before I get into that discussion, I wanted to ask all the subscribers that are watching this channel, please do subscribe TriScrum channel so that you will get all the notifications around all the quality content that we are going to put as a part of TriScrum. Thank you very much. So I'm going to share 3 competencies that we put across in TriScrum. I hope you could see my screen. We divided the competencies into 3 categories. One is team coaching competencies, business coaching competencies, and leadership coaching competencies. We sort of had a dilemma first that we should call it as a competency or a capability. Then we ended up with the word capability because it sounds more abstract than the competencies itself. We don't want to contain your competencies into a container. We thought capability is more inclusive than competency. Right. So with that said, I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about some of the team coaching capabilities. And of course, you can ask your questions on the comments, which we will try to address in the next podcast as well. It's going to be the lightweighted podcast, maybe spanning across 15 minutes so that you can listen to this podcast whenever you want, maybe in your car, on the train, wherever you feel comfortable. So let's get into the team coaching capabilities. We divided the team coaching capabilities into 6 divisions. One is promote self-management. The next one is maintain authentic distance. The third is facilitate collaboration. The fourth one is cultivate systemic awareness and then exhibit ethical behaviors. The last one is promote software craftsmanship. That is something we thought it's very important as part of the research that we have done when we wanted to put together the team coaching capabilities. So before I talk about team coaching capabilities, I wanted to give Arun a couple of minutes to share his thoughts on, because we work together on putting this team coaching capabilities. Arun, why do you think these capabilities are important for team coaches?
See, my point of view, teams are the vehicles that carry an organization, businesses on the ground. So they play a pivotal role in organizations' emergence as in their businesses, etc., etc. So that's the reason, as an agile coach, when they get into an organization to coach, taking care of the things that are there in the ground is very, very important. Right? So that's where team coaching capabilities comes in as a very important thing.
Okay, good. So I also resonate with you. I think unless we get capable and independent and self-managing teams, I don't think we'll be able to achieve the larger goal, overarching goal. So we may have a strong strategy, but at an execution level, if you do not have teams that are working like teams, then the companies are going to struggle. I have read in the recent article that most of the companies are very good in strategy formulation, but when it comes to execution is when the real challenge is, right? So that is one of the thought processes we put team coaching capabilities. I'm going to expand this more to talk about 1 or 2 capabilities today so that agile coaches, aspiring agile coaches that are trying to coach their teams might get benefited. So my definition, maybe TriScrum's definition of team coaching is not just restricted to one team. Someone who engages with team or teams to help the teams becoming high performing cohorts.
Yeah.
So when someone is trying to help the team or intervene the team in making them the better version of themselves. We call them as team coaches. And team coaches bring in a lot of capabilities when they enter into the system to understand the teams and better serve them. So we sort of started with the promote self-managing capability. So the reason we put this as the first competency is anybody that is entering into the system might have to think that the teams have capabilities on their own. It's just that they need right interventions at the right time to help them go to the next stage. So it's sort of creating an awareness at the same time, helping the teams reflect on what are their strengths and weaknesses. That is important as an agile coach to promote self-management, right? And I also think that self-management comes with definitely boundaries. We are not talking about self-management means anybody can do anything here, whatever the teams think that they would be able to do. That is not something we are talking about here. What we are talking about here is given the fact that the goal, the higher goal or the vision of the organization, including the product vision is set, the teams are able to get and connect the vision to the bigger picture, and also they will be able to take any decisions within their boundaries to make that happen. So that's what we mean by promoting self-management. So when we expand this capability, we sort of inherited the team coaching definition from ICF, as you might have come across what is ICF, International Coaching Federation. So we took team coaching as a creative process that can help team reflects on their dynamics, including the strengths and weaknesses. So as coaches, often we think, how do we balance this consulting and coaching stance? So whenever we think, in our experience, whenever we think that we need to get into the consulting stance, but at least in my experience, I've come across always I postpone my consulting stance to a few moments whenever I think I would like to go ahead and do consulting. That's when the teams are going to be really capable by not by simply asking powerful questions, but looking around and connecting one or two dots to the teams might help them go towards to the next stage, right? It's not just about enhancing awareness. It is also about relating a few things that the teams are not able to relate by themselves. So with your presence, they're able to connect maybe a few dots, then they'll be able to make their own connection so that they are going to be capable and resilient with respect to their boundaries. And one thing that I would like to share as an experience, maybe as an example, is whenever I feel tempted to suggest some solutions to the team, I used to count 1 to 20 internally so that I'm going to postpone my consulting stance a few more minutes so that the real intelligence is going to come out from somebody, right? Sometimes what happens is not all the team members would be ready enough to share whatever they think at the first moment. A few silence is sometimes required for the team members to speak out. So please do not fill into the gap by using a consulting stance. Try to give that silence the time that it deserves so that somebody is going to speak up. That might postpone your consulting stance to a few more minutes. Like I start counting from 1 to 20 and then I get a voice from one of the team members. Then I'm going to blow that voice across the other team members so that there is the wisdom that is going to come from the team. And then even the second turn, I'm going to get the consulting stance. I'm going to postpone the consulting stance, again, starting from 1 to 20. This way, I'm going to control my temptations in suggesting solution to the teams, at the same time, making them more capable. So that's my view, Arun. What do you think about self-management?
Absolutely. This is where I love the book from Aegis Kane on humble consulting, where he talks more about giving an opportunity for the other person in front of you to talk more than you talk more, right? So you rightly pointed out that intentional silence is what we call, right? If you give an intentional silence, then silence is very powerful. People can't handle silence. They will definitely open up. That presents an opportunity for the teams to open up, and that helps you to manage their thoughts. Also, they will feel that autonomy. I've spoken here. I'm contributing. It's not someone is coming and giving me something. So always we prefer the choices that we take rather than someone takes for us. So that's the beauty of intentional silence as well. And intentional silence inherently promotes the self-management because it is coming from the people who are there in the event.
Yeah, absolutely. So certainly said, I kind of resonate with one of my experiences, right? First time when I got into team coaching engagements, I talk more and the team talks very less. And I was wondering, like, whatever we introduce or we bring into the team is not sustainable, right? The moment I go for a vacation for about 10 days, things are coming back to the old ways of working. I kind of get frustrated, maybe annoyed sometimes. What's happening that we have done so much? And then I realized we did not take self accountability to give some silence and give some opportunities for team to discover their own problems. And sometimes it might look unrealistic, but unless we get comfortable with the silence, we are not going to move the needle, right? We think that we are moving the needle, but what is going to happen is when the needle is going to move 2 steps ahead, once you go back, the needle is going to come maybe 4 steps back. That's what's going to happen in teams that I worked with. When I gained that experience, being comfortable with the silence, somebody broke that silence. They come up with some ideas, is when the real change happens. So that's our experience from TriScrum on the team coaching with respect to promoting self-management. And I would strongly request people to look at the promote self-managing capabilities. We have given some evidences that what we spoke about. And tomorrow we're going to talk about the next two coaching competencies on team coaching, talking about some of the other insights, sharing some of our experiences. I think that this podcast might have helped you in one of the competencies, maybe expanding your competency as an agile coach in serving your teams. So I wanted to take this moment to thank you and look forward to seeing you through a number of podcasts from TriScrum. Arun, would you like to say a few words?
Absolutely. So this is the first thing. So we have given it a go. So we're gonna come back again with more quick, short bites of team coaching capabilities in the coming days. Thanks.
Thank you. See you.